Voice for humanity.
The time is just gone 10 minutes to 9 a.m. and it is the beautiful day of Jummah. Jummah Mubarak to one and all. If you have just tuned in with us this morning, and we trust and hope that you will enjoy the great blessings of this wonderful day of Jummah, inshallah. And it is also the time of the week and the time of the day where we bring you Jummah inspirations. We bring you wonderful advices. We bring you great nasiha. Alhamdulillah, in the company of our honorable ulama. And this morning, we have got our respected Moulana Huzaifa Cassim from Verulam, who is a member of the Jamiatul Ulama KwaZulu-Natal, who will be providing us with the nasiha and the inspiration this morning, inshallah. Moulana, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Brother Inayat, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh to you and to your listeners as well.
Yes, Moulana, Jazakallah khairan so much for joining us, and we're looking forward to the wonderful words of wisdom, inshallah, the nasiha to keep us inspired this morning. So, Moulana, the platform is all yours. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallimu ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صدق الله العظيم. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: نعمتان مغبون فيهما كثير من الناس، الصحة والفراغ. وكما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Honorable listeners of Salam Media, Brother Inayat Wadi, and to all our mothers and sisters out there, once again I would like to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We should send abundant salutations, peace and salam upon the greatest creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Nabi Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Once again, let us recite durood and salam upon Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Respected listeners, it is a new year. Today is the first Jummah of the year 2022. Islamically, although it's a solar year, it has no significance in Islam. However, we find many of our activities center around the solar calendar, the academic year, the madrasa year also, and businesses after the long holidays, factories, business restart. And particularly this year, there's a lot of hope after all the difficulty we went through in the past 2 years or so, and the economic and financial difficulties that people experience. And there's a lot of hope now that people have for this year, that this year will be a much better year. And already a lot of planning has started how we are going to make this year a better year. So people will use the word resolutions, or they will use the word planning and projecting. As Muslims, alhamdulillah, this is part of our deen, tadbir, that we plan, we administrate, we manage, we try our best to do what we can with the resources that we have. However, on our list, and nowadays we refer to it as a bucket list, something that a person wants to do, but nevertheless, on our list of things that we want to do, at the very top of the list for every Muslim should be the aspect of deen. Our deen should be first, that how can I improve as a Muslim before everything else? How should I become a better Muslim? So for this year, I want to give us a few ahadith that we can work on to become a better Muslim. And not just randomly. I want to mention to you one of the great imams of hadith, a book of hadith that is taught in every reputable Darul Ulum in South Africa, in Africa and abroad, whether you go to Saudi Arabia, whether you go to the east or the west. You find this book will be taught, and it is recognized as one of the Sihah Sitta, the 6 authentic books of hadith, which is the hadith work of Imam Abu Dawood, Sulaiman ibn al-Ash'ath, as-Sijistani rahimahullah, his book is known as Sunan Abu Dawood. Often we heard the name, now we have heard who is the author. So he mentioned that from 500,000 ahadith, I chose 4,800 ahadith and I put it in my book Sunan Abu Dawood, which is learned by the scholars of Deen. But then after that, he mentioned something even more amazing, which I want to share with you today. He said that there are 4 ahadith in these 4,800 ahadith, which are the essence of my entire book and the essence of Deen. In other words, if we have these basics in our life, inshallah, a great portion of Deen we will have acquired, and it will be easier for us to bring in the rest of the aspects of Deen. And that is what I want to put forward today, that with all our planning, our managing, and our resolutions for this year 2022, why don't we also include these 4 ahadith? Because of constraints of time, for the purposes of brevity, we will run through it very, very quickly without elaborating much. However, it is something for us to think about, food for thought, how we can apply these to our lives. So the first hadith he mentioned, which we find is the first hadith of Bukhari Sharif, an extremely important hadith, which Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah mentioned is 1/3 of Deen, and 70 branches of Islam are connected to this hadith, or 70 branches of jurisprudence and fiqh are connected to this hadith. He says, is the hadith, innamal a'malu bin niyat. Every action is judged by the intentions. Now, let us try to be sincere people this year. Whether it is with our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or with our relationship with people, let us be sincere. Not have ulterior motives. Not want to swindle a person when it comes to business. Unfortunately, in this holiday period, sitting with certain members of the family, relatives, people that are working very, very hard, certain things have come to the fore, very unsavory narrations of the experiences of people with Muslims and what is happening in the business place. On the flip side, we find with regards to our social lives, our marital affairs, what is the state of Muslims when it comes to these relationships that we have? And a great deal boils down to being insincere in our dealings, in our relationship, in our friendships that we have with people. So that is one aspect. The hadith is emphasizing that whatever action we do, then we must be doing it sincerely and solely for the pleasure of Allah. To develop this consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that every action is for my Allah, to the point where a person will question every action of his, that am I doing this for my Allah or not? And if we bring that aspect even in our relationship, that if I put Allah first, then inshallah, Allah will make the rest go easy for us. So that is the first hadith which we can work on this year, inshallah, that how my intention can be sincere for Allah. And when I am working with people, I must be sincere. I mustn't have ulterior motives. The second is, min husni islamil mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'nihi. That a person should leave out things that do not concern him. This is the beauty of his Islam. Many times we get embroiled in matters that have nothing to do with us, but it leaves a very sour taste in our mouth, and we have sleepless nights for something that didn't concern us. Sometimes on social media, we're having unnecessary debates. We're getting involved with matters that do not concern us, or we don't have the expertise to be sitting in those matters and discussing those matters. So in many of these aspects, the best thing for us to save our time and to save our peace of mind, not to get involved in things that do not concern us, and I cannot do anything to benefit the situation. It will just be a juicy story. It will just be a juicy discussion. A lot of my time will go in that, but there will be no benefit for me or for the people that are in a certain predicament. So, min husni islamil mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'ni. To leave out things that do not concern a person, this is the beauty of Islam. So, if this is the hadith, then you can well imagine getting involved in things that are futile. Whatever is futile, I should never get involved in things that are absolutely futile and have no benefit for me. The third hadith, he mentions that a Muslim cannot be a true Muslim until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. Serving humanity and having love for our fellow brother Muslim or non-Muslim. Being kind, to offer a kind word. And here again, it is free of charge to smile at a person and to offer a good word. And that is actually sadaqah. But unfortunately, this has become very, very rare. Even if we cannot give someone assistance to the effect of what he desires from us, we can share a kind word, we can share a smile with that person. Unfortunately, I've heard of where bosses and superiors have been very, very rude to the point where their staff and the subordinates are left in tears and going home crying. This is unfortunate, this type of behavior. We should learn from the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So thirdly, let us see how we can become better people with regards to our dealings with others, whether a person is a superior or our junior, how we can be good to them. And if we can assist them, assist them. And the last hadith, which is a very important hadith as well, al-halalu bayyinun wal-haramu bayyin. Halal is clear and haram is clear. There are many things that are doubtful in between. Stay away from it and you will protect your deen. To put it in a nutshell, we can see with regards to the food industry, how many times it has come to the fore that something was portrayed as halal, but it was not so. It was not true. And later on, a person regrets that I ate haram. It's like I ate poison thinking that it was something beneficial for me. It will have its evil. So instead of satisfying these taste buds, let us please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make sure what we are eating is absolutely pure. That's one aspect. The second aspect is with regards to our dealings, our conduct, make sure that our business dealings and our conduct is in line with the Sharia. If we need to find out, get our information from our ulama. So, because my time is up, I will stop here and I will just go quickly through the 4 ahadith again. As I said, these are lengthy ahadith with regards to the explanations. Innamal a'malu binniyat, let us be sincere this year. Number 2, let us leave out those things that do not concern us. Don't get involved in unnecessary discussions, in forwarding messages that are lies, etc. Thirdly, we should have this love for our Muslim brothers and non-Muslims and show that humanity, show that love and assist others. And fourthly, let us be very particular about our dealings and also what we consume, that it should be 100% permissible, halal, and in accordance to the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to make amal upon these 4 ahadith. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this year a very fruitful year for us in our deen and in our dunya as well. Ameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan so much, Moulana, for those wonderful words of wisdom. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to understand and also to practice upon these wonderful advices, inshallah. Moulana, Jazakallah khairan once again. Allah reward your efforts. Allah reward you for coming on and giving us these wonderful advices and this nasiha on this day of Jummah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Moulana Huzaifa Cassim, member of the Jamiatul Ulama KwaZulu-Natal, with us this morning. Wonderful words of wisdom, Jummah inspirations coming to you on Assalam Media this morning. The time is just headed for 4 minutes past 9 a.m. We're going to go for a break. We still got a lot more to come this morning on the show from now right until 10 a.m. inshallah.
Listen to something fresh.